Well, hello. Greetings and salutations, one and all. I hope that you're all okay and that your week hasn't been too um, crappy. As you can tell, I've not really improved much since Wednesday, and yeah, just thought I'd come on for a little while to see how it goes. I may have been, well, I did say the other day that I've been quite lucky with the cold, despite the really bad cough and the general feeling of meh. I've not been too snotty, but that seems to have been making a bit of a change. So they're mixing it up now. So I've still got the cough. I have managed to sleep a little bit, and yeah, so just thought we'd just pop in. Hey, Marius. Yeah, no, it's I think obviously with consistent cold weather for one, that's definitely something because no matter how well you wrap yourself up, um, when you're not properly wrapped up, the cold always sneaks in and attacks. It's very insidious. Um, but yeah, there's, there's so as I said, I thought I'd just come on for a little bit. I'm not sure how long. We will see. I have some tissue to hand. I was just really enjoying myself, not feeling too snotty. But now it's sort of just going, ha 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 ha. We shall get you back. We shall have you and your lackadaisical ways. Yes. My daughter's been off school, sick as a dog all week. I'm surprised I've not caught it yet myself. Yeah, it's one of those things. Um, there's been a bit of like illness in the house in general, but um, yeah, it's like when I've been around my kids, I've avoided them or not tried to, you know, I've made sure that there was airflow, and I've even worn like masks and stuff like that just as a precaution. But yeah, it's I've had this. I've been feeling rubbish since Thursday last week. So that's just one of those things, I guess. Just keeps on keeping on. The gift that keeps on giving, as they say. So continuing with the little dudes. Unfortunately, one of the Vulturax's little mandibles um, broke off. So I've tried sticking it on about 2, 3 times now, but it just keeps on coming off. So just leaving it to one side for the time being. I've done it for the most part. It's a case of touching up, just tidying up bits and pieces, maybe a little bit more wash here and there, especially on the engines on the Vulturax. I want to give that some sepia, which is over there. Excellent. And maybe a little bit of black on the Mauler bolters for the Castellax. So, yes, there's that. I did put some fresh water in, so that's handy. Are you hobbying tonight, then, Meris? Or thank you very much. Um, sometimes, despite not being able to see them properly, they've not turned out too bad. So, booba shaker. So, what is everybody's hobby projects for tonight. What we working on? I'm gonna say, let's give it a little bit of Corvus Black. Right there, Pete. How are you, buddy? Yeah, working through my Death Company with Jump Pack Squad onto gold this evening. Well, I'm sure you'll do them justice. Oh, that's a thought. I just realised I've got no music on. I forgot to set that up. Right. I'm probably going to have a bit of an advert, so I'll have to talk over it for a second or two. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of an advert type thing going on here. So if we keep on talking, hopefully people won't realise that there is an advert going on, even though I've mentioned the name advert several times already. But I shall keep going until the skip's here. Excellent. That's what we wanted. So with this Battle Force set, you do get quite a lot in there. As I said, we've got still to build 4 Thanators. So we've done 4 to start with. We've got another 4 to finish off, and a sprue of infantry as well. So there's quite a lot in there to be getting on with for sure. And all these little robots. And the Trioris, which we've already done. So that's those 4 little weapons. Let's get back onto the thing now. My local Warhammer store has said they are running an Imperialis month-long event this new year between your channel and that I'm thinking of picking the game up. Nice. It is always better when you have events going off. So anyone from GW who, and there are people from GW, do tune in from time to time. It makes such a difference. So all these games you've got out, run an event for them. Like, was it been 2 AT events in 4 years? Admittedly, COVID, but you still ran events. So it's like 52 weeks in the year. You could have done something sometime. That's, and with these Imperialis, admittedly, I'm sure that there are some lovely painted miniatures out there in this scale. I'm just happy to get them looking roughly right for what they are. I'm lucky enough that my local store is the only one outside of Warhammer World with tables to game on, Aberdeen. Oh, really? Admittedly, I haven't been into a lot of Warhammer stores in recent years. I think I went into Southend earlier in the year when I was after copies of the 500th White Dwarf, because I wanted obviously one for myself, because of Artist Empire having some work in there, and he included some of my Titans in the pictures that he submitted, and a few friends wanted to get their hands on them as well. So I was like running around newsagents and Warhammer, but they still had some tables available. Unfortunately, it's not a massive store, because they had like one table or two tables set up for painting and demo sort of thing, and then I think there's another like two tables towards the back where you can have a game. But I haven't gamed in the store since I think it was the Fall of Cadia I took part of in a Warhammer store, and whenever that came out, and 8th edition when that was released, I went in there and used Tau. Put cables on Domitars. Sorry for all the questions, but do you know what a good Titan Legion would be that might work well with Ultramarines and House Terran? Yes. The obvious one is Legio Presagius, the True Messengers. They were mentioned in Honor the Dead, which was an audiobook that Gav Thorpe did. And it was one of the best ones because they actually had sound effects in there, which really helped when you're hearing Gatling blasters unloading whilst next to a tower block where some Ultramarines were sort of going through the building. So they are one Legio. But saying that, because of the position of certain Forge Worlds to the Ultramarines, Legio Solaria are actually their Forge World is within Ultramar, and they were mentioned having one of their Imperators during not No Fear, Unremembered Empire. They were mentioned. There was two Forge Worlds, Tigris and Akatran, and Tigris is the home Forge World of the Legio Solaria. Yeah, I love that audio drama. I listen at least once a year when it gets. Yeah, it was. You know, and that's the thing. That some people go, "Oh, it's good Thorpe." Um, Most notably, my mate Phil, who hates him, because he did the dirty on the Dark Angels apparently. Um, but yeah, no, it is a really good audio drama. Yeah, the main villain or a villain is a bit like, you know, moustache twirling type villain, the way he sounds, but it's still a good, you know, epic story. Titans, coffin ships, the attacking, trying to get to the landers before they can get their Titans out. You know, kill them in the crib, sort of thing. Um, and you know the Titan battles. So yeah, the true, and they're blue and white as well, Presagius. And in AT, they have, I think they're the Legio, the Loyalist Legio, which has the most like traits and stuff added to them, because they have like five. Well, they have like, you know, a couple of war gears, a couple of stratagems, and Legion traits. Because normally you only have four, but Presagius for some reason has five, even though Ignatum, who are the first Legion, they only have four. It makes no sense. Whereas Mortis has five as well. They may not be like ground breaking, but it's still not an advantage, but it's still something bonusy. Is that the guy? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was like, twiddle moustache, twiddle moustache. um, but no, you say it is one of the best audios as well because of the having sound effects. It adds something to the storytelling. They haven't really done much more with it. I think they also had um, other cast members, because there was definitely some a female voice acting, whereas normally like you get a voice actor, a male voice actor, and he does a woman's voice or talks softly. Um, but there was definitely a non-male. Right. I think there was four. Keeble was in there as a guy that did Fulgrim as the main narrator, and a woman too. I forgot her name, but I think she does the Custode Sisters of Silence books. Yeah. Emma Gregory. I always remember, like with the the Emperor Spears book, because I run a Facebook Emperor Spears group, and when that came out on the audio book, there was people sort of bemoaning, "Oh, I don't think there should be a woman narrator on it." You know, yes, she was a new sort of voice actor. This was her first 40k book, but the thing is, the point of view character of the book is a woman. So why wouldn't you have a woman doing the storytelling, the narration? And to be fair, I thought she'd done a good job of it. I actually enjoyed. I did really enjoy the story. It was quite harrowing at times, but that's the nature of the beast. Especially when that beast is Aaron Dembski Bowden. That beautiful bastard. It's going to get a bit windy over here in a moment. Oh, Bertie's kicking off a storm. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the Titan suggestions, by the way. I'll look them up. I've heard you can play all Titans in Imperialis, so I might try for that. Yeah, you have to bear in mind, you know, there's most Titan legios. They, by the time of the heresy, they have probably walked with each of the legions at one stage or another. It's not like a case that because they live next door that they're like best buddies or anything like that. So if you wanted, you know, they could have been a particular mission that Gulliman was taking his boys on and thought, you know what, this Titan Legio would be much better in this situation because they've handled that sort of stuff before. So there was a macaque. So yeah, you can't really go too far wrong. But again, they are blue and white, so they'll definitely sort of complement the Ultramarines and House Terran because they are blue and white as well. But yes, your choices are wide and exhaustive. Hello, Rose. Welcome. Are you hobbying this evening? Just hanging out and chilling? What's your Saturday looking like? I apologise for the sound of my voice, as I am still suffering a little bit from a cold. But it's normally quite a chilled and relaxed environment anyway. But you're more than welcome to come and hang out. It's all good. Beep, 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 beep. Just checking for missed bits. Try and get a bit of a I'll do. Shake things up by having a really light silver blade. Do you pardon me? Do you pardon me? Normally, see when I get out, I had obviously shower after getting home after my day at work, had dinner, had shower, and normally I drip dry. But in the circumstances, I don't think that's a wise move on my part. So it's a little bit more fluffy. Oh, because I got the hairdryer out. My flesh is weak. I'm not up to much, just working on some old Citari. Sorry to hear you've come down with a cold. It's been freezing. It's snowing where I am. Yeah, I was going to say, down in the south where I am, or southeast, there's been like one 20-minute period where it tried to snow, but it'd been raining beforehand. So there was no settling. And then when it did try snowing, it was more just like sleet. And as I say, it only lasted for about 15-20 minutes. But yeah, it was quite a shame because like we're seeing like loads of my friends who are like Midlands up north and that, and they're all oh well, snow. Even where my brother lives, which is just like off the M25 in Middlesex, they had snow, just not over this side. I suppose because we're nearer to like sea air, you know, and the salt water, you get a lot more sort of like salty air. So obviously that does affect snow. I'm honestly jealous of your lack of snow. It snowed for about 2 hours in Scotland and immediately turned to slush. Yeah, it's always nice when it's like fresh, you know, like lovely powdery winter wonderland type thing, and then next minute it's just a hot mess. It's like, ugh. Especially like I say, like gritted roads and all that sort of stuff. It's really fun because like down here they are renowned for not gritting the roads, and there's you know in Essex in particular, you know, there's a lot of people who live in Essex who work in like London inner city sort of thing, and it's only generally like if they've gritted them, it's normally only like the main road. So all side roads are all a little bit bogged down and slippy, and it's even more fun when you live on a hill, because that's just asking for trouble. Away as you go down, slalom, quite literally. And but yeah, it's. I remember there's been times when, oh no, we forgot to grit the main routes, and it just completely snafus up the entirety of a county, because there's three major roads like on this side of Essex in particular. So it's the A12, A13, and A127. You've also got like the M11, but they're normally looked after better. But like the A roads in particular, there's a lot of traffic coming through on them at the best of times, and then when there's heavy rains or snow, it's a nightmare. Oh, pardon me. I used to live in London, and I swear snow went brown in about 5 minutes. At least they sorted the roads. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. The old brown slush. It's just like, ugh. It's not what you signed up for. You wanted it to be like nice and crisp and white all throughout the Yuletide period. As long as it's not hampering your way into work or shopping or stuff like that. It's weird. We are funny creatures. Oh, I love snow, and then next minute, fucking hate snow. It's the worst. Which sometimes it is. Trying to find some of my black paints. I'll do some. Oh, sorry. Oh, I harpooned myself a what do you call them? Not Voltrax. Oh, I can't remember their names now. Vorax, that's it. The little scampery ones. Well, you escaped London, so well done, Rose. I was also a London regular up until the age of 19 when I emigrated into Essex. And I've been here ever since. So, from Chinkford, which, to be fair, Chinkford was Essex up until sort of like the 60s, I think. When London expanded its boundaries to incorporate Greater London. So basically, Chinkford was a border town between London and the greater London area and Essex. But yeah, left there in '94 and have been in Essex ever since, really. It's all right. Get to know yourself a way around places. Right. Is the music at a good ambient sound level? I have to ask. I'm thinking I'm going to put a top on. I know I've got a top on, but it's all well and good looking cool, but you also want to be warm, because even though I've got a heater right here next to me, it's not, I've got to learn to be careful. I'm not as youthful and sprightly as I once was. So actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to warm that up a bit first. warm that up. Nice, nice, nice. Got the music a bit louder. In my opinion, the music is at the perfect, mildly ominous level. I like the use of ominous in that. Um, yeah, because obviously I've got a nice level here, but I can't tell how you're getting it over there. So that's why I like to ask. Because I always get one person wants it higher, one person wants it lower. I beg my pardon. Um, so yeah, I don't change the levels between shows. So it's always a bit weird. All right, woolly jumper time. Even though it's not woolly jumper. All right, and new drink. And whilst I have got another beer, I'm gonna go with a Lucozade. So Rose, with your Skitari, any particular Forge Worlds you're doing them for? Just curious. So with smaller models, this is where you really do find washes add an extra dimension a lot more than just going over with layers of paint. You don't lose as much detail for sure. It's just subtle. I'm all about subtlety. Just like a little shade wash just to change the aspect just a little smidge. And it does just give you a little bit more difference to the models. Or just that little shade change. Well, these ones are Mars, because Mars is my Forge World. As you can probably tell by the name. Yeah, so these are basically like replications of my my bigger dudes. Because I have a Martian Tagmata force. So I wanted to replicate it with the little guys. But yeah, all about Mars, baby. All about the Mars. Tough question to think about it. It's like if you would ask me, so like, oh, what Titan Legion should I go with my Space Marine Legion? And I went, oh, what Legion's that then? Mr. Marius Gage, former Chapter Master of the Ultramarines. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything about that, just for obviously other people may not have known that. And you go, hey, what's the Ultramarine dude doing the Blood Angels? And say I've got uh, a Blood Angel successor force. Um, so I did. It was basically started off as the Terminators from Space Hulk. I did them as the Knights of Blood because there's not, you know, whilst I respect the Sons of Baal, to me, because when I started in the hobby, Blood Angels were what the Ultramarines are today. They were the like poster boys. There were so many Blood Angels about. Obviously, Space Hulk Blood Angels. It weren't until they brought out Deathwing that you had Dark Angels. Well, the Ultramarines were represented along with Space Wolves. It was for me. I didn't like red, so which is quite strange now. Looking back at it, that there is quite a lot of red here. My Titan Legion is Ignatum, who are predominantly red, and my Knight household is House Tyrannus, who are also red, although they were blue initially, which was interesting when they brought out the Imperial Knights, and I was planning with my friend Scott to do House Tyrannus because they were the Knight house that was featured in Mechanicum. So we were like buying like our blue paints and everything, thinking, right, okay, let's prepare what sort of blue, what silver you wanted to do, sort of thing. And then the very first video tutorial video, which was multi-part, 4 parts it was, that Duncan Rhodes did for Games Workshop and the Warhammer community and all that. The very first video he ever did was painting a House Tyrannus Knight in red. So it's like, oh, but in the book they're blue. And then that's the thing, it gets you. It's like, oh, I want mine to be red as well, because that's what they're painted theirs like. And so you go with it, and it's I remember actually sharing that information, that little nugget, with Graham McNeil, and he went, "You what?" It's like, it was almost like holding his head like that, going, "Why? Why?" However, that said, I'm pretty sure that where I was one of the 3 founders of the Tyrannus Owners Club. So before the Titans Owners Club and the Titans Owners Club blog, which then merged into the Titans Owners Club, the original TOC is the Tyrannus Owners Club. We were created several months beforehand. So, yeah, baby. We, within there has always been a bit of bickering, because obviously Duncan Rose painted the knights with silver, like chrome silver shoulder pads, then the silver everywhere else, and then obviously red. They brought out the Knight Compendium after they brought out the Codex, and they had pictures in there. Now, the problem with print, not photographs, but print, is that you can't necessarily do a very good transition between silver and chrome in print, sort of thing, or cheaply, like Games Workshop would. So if you ever look at the pictures of the Knight's Compendium, you see House Tyrannus has got this very, it looks white-ish, but it does have a little shimmer to it, to indicate a grey shimmer, to indicate a metallic edge or a metallic nature, as in chrome, sort of thing, because chrome is very light. And compared to like lead belcher. So when you have, like, you see on here, in fact, so looking at that, you can tell the difference between, well, if it focused, if it could focus. No, it's not going to focus. Okay, hold it there. So you can see the trim is definitely darker than the plates, because the plates are done in like mithril silver or stormhost silver, what you want to call it. The trims are all done in lead belcher and then like washed. So you can definitely see there is a difference there. So they indicate that by having a very light-ish plate with the shimmer. Whereas if you turn a few pages along to House Hawkshroud, which are white, it is white, there is no shimmer. But everyone, well, lots of people took it that, oh, it's white. It never was. But then, because they go, oh, we've done it white, but it doesn't matter. Because in in chivalry and heraldry, white represents silver, as yellow represents gold. Because back in the day of the ye old knights, they couldn't necessarily, afford to have gold trim and silver trim on their stuff, so they painted them white to represent them. So there was a whole sort of like joking sort of civil war within the Tyrannus Owners Club. You had the white knights of fluff, which isn't technically true because it wasn't in the fluff. They've never mentioned of being white in the fluff at that stage. And the Silver Knights of Duncan Rhodes, because in the tutorial video. Now, that said, I have learned since those days that painting tutorial videos aren't considered as canon. So whatever they paint up in those videos doesn't mean that is the official scheme of whatever it is you're watching. So there's that. Master Mouse, I see you snuck in there, you little scampering devil, you. How are you, buddy? You alright? What are you up to this evening? I've got that book. I have to go check this out. Yeah, so House Tyrannus, and then they're both wrong because it's blue then. And that's the thing. This is where this gets into, because a few years back, again, I used to get mocked by Andy Hoare, who is the head of Specialist Games, on Warhammer TV bits when they used to do, like, you know, Forge World Specialist Games updates and all that stuff. And his favourite jibe he used to throw at us was like, "Oh yeah, Lee, he's the head of the Tyrannus Owners Club, and he collects House Tyrannus, or all 2 knights of House Tyrannus, because at the end of Mechanicum there is only 2 knights," sort of thing. Because all the other knights which if you read from Mechanicum, you know that all the knights of Tyrannus that were on Mars that had workable knight suits participated in the defense of Magma City. Now, all of them died. Leopold Kronos and Raph Maven weren't at Magma City. They went hunting the Kaban machine and defeated the Kaban machine, met with Dahlia Cyphera and Romu 31. And Dahlia Cyphera, who was basically an you could call her like an avatar of the Emperor, because she done the machine heal thyself and basically repaired just by touching their engines, and golden light infused them, and they were repaired. They weren't like, you know, repainted, but they were basically, you know, scorched silver, because most of the paint had been burnt off during the battle. But the machines were healed and they went into hiding. They got told, "Go hide here," sort of thing. So they went into hiding. There is a later book that Graham wrote called The Lightning Hall, where they return to their old fortress, and there's still, within its boundaries, there was still House Tyrannus personnel alive there. So there was, like, you know, some scions and their families, and the thralls and tech thralls and, you know, tech priests of the household. They'd been, like, you know, hunkered down, base defences because they were safe because of the new sphere from the scrap code, but they were being attacked several times. And Raph and Leopold basically cleared the way to basically get in there and reunite with the family as such. So there were more House Tyrannus than just 2 knights on Mars. The other thing is, there was House Tyrannus because, as I was asked by Andy at it was a 2019 Horus Heresy Weekender, because obviously I voiced my opinions several times. He actually asked me, he said, "Okay, talk to me. How do you make, you know, from your 2 knights, how do you make them to be bigger?" So I gave it to him that yes, you had Raph Maven and Leopold Kronos on Mars, but House Tyrannus were the first knight household. They wouldn't just had 27 knight suits. That's the 27 was mentioned that was operational. They still had knight suits that were not under power because of what happened to um, Magos Maximal's fusion reactor fields, because he detonated them to stop them falling into the enemy's hands. So he blew up all the energy grids that he had control that fed Tyrannus and other places. So that's why there was only 27 working knights at there. So you had unknown amount of scions or whatever at their main base. But being the first house and knightly chivalry and all that sort of thing, and being like, quite popular amongst the Mechanicum and Titan Legios and all that, they would have had more than knights out on the explorator fleets, because that's where the glory is. They would send out knights along with them. So, when you've got like House von Hur being stated as having 500 knight suits, it's Mars. Mars had 3 knight households, but still, Tyrannus was made up because there used to be 4 knight households. Tyrannus was 2 knight households that merged together, because their original symbol was 2 arrows pointing the same direction that represented the 2 lances that came together to form the house. So I always like to use bits of the law or established law that's been out there. So my argument was, and it is stated in later lore, that House Tyrannus was awarded the Forge Moon of Phobos in recognition of their input and help in reclaiming of Mars after the heresy. How would they have done that with just 2 knight suits? There has to be more. And there would have been knights in the explorator fleets out there. And my premise was that, there's more out there. Or, because Tyrannus is a symbol of Mars, and to sort of reinforce the legitimacy of Fabricator Locum Kane, or the Fabricator General Kane in exile, House Tyrannus would be a magnificent symbol to have on your side when you go there to prove your legitimacy against all the others and that sort of stuff. So they could basically rebuild the Legio, as they did with House Viridian in Master of Mankind, by acquiring any knight scions that are basically without suits, refugees that were scions, or even Titan princeps who could easily learn to pilot a knight suit, and then basically take suits from other knight houses' donations to give this new pseudo Tyrannus household to Kane to take back to Mars to reclaim the Red Planet, because it's all about symbolism. And also, if there were knights amongst the explorator fleets, surely they would be trying to make their way home back to Mars. And you get that in the Defense of Riser book, when Tyrannus are mentioned as being about 200 knight suits on Riser, and where they've been heading back towards Mars, a lot of them have all met up at Riser, along with knights from House Sephora, who is the other night house, another night house of Mars. And it says in there that a lot of the House Tyrannus knights, because of the help that they've received from Forge Worlds of the Mechanicum or Mechanicus, there has been a lot of Scions repainting their night suits in honor of the Mechanicus. So they've been going from blue to red. So the transition's already started in the background of the heresy. So they're changing from blue to red. And obviously in 40k we know that they're all red. But in heresy, in my night suits, our household, night household, I have both blue and red House Tyrannus as part of the force. So, you know, because I like to do that sort of shit. Hey Mac, how are you, buddy? I've just finished gluing and pinning the legs for the Warlord. Excellent. Currently propped up with a drill, and it's perfectly balanced and level. That's awesome news. Get that beauty built and get it painted. I'm going to say the next Titan walk is Beachhead in February. Just saying. There's have been partially repaired knights too, or like with the Imperial Fists, who were wiped out to a man and rebuilt. Yeah, because I say something like that. They are a symbol, and Tyrannus before the heresy, the death of innocence, they were held in such high esteem amongst all the warrior fraternities. So all the other knight households and Titan Legios held them in quite high regard, because they were also the first to meet the Emperor or the Omnissiah when he came to Mars with Teclon Vordicoda, who was one of the dudes. He was the head of the household, and he and his knight went up on Olympus Mons, where the Emperor and his massive ship came and landed, and he went up there and, "Hey dude, who are you?" and went on one knee in recognition of the Omnissiah. I won't be anywhere near ready for February. I'm getting it ready for the next year's Rally Point event at Warhammer World. No rush. Oh, but it's definitely going to give you something to work on and to get done. Let's do these boob checker. You can't rush these beautiful gun machines. No, you can't. Well, you can, but you don't have to. Right. Still working on my 30k Dark Mechanicum army. Nice. Painting a second Vulturax. Are they? I can't remember. Are they out in plastic? Or are they resin still? I will say to the assembled that Vorax are bastards to build. They are a little bit fiddly, to say the least. Everybody said it. I thought they can't be that bad, but they are. Were you tempted to buy any of the releases? No. I saw. Well, are we talking about the stuff that they unveiled, the Krieg stuff, or about stuff that went on general today? Um, on the stuff they unveiled, like the Krieg, like officer, field marshal on horseback, I like it. I like it. Um, but if there's nothing Mechanicum, no, I'm not really interested. Maybe I'll still do Space Marines when I get Imperials. Well, you can do like multiple formations. So you can have obviously Space Marines and Mechanicum together, or different legions together, and you get buffs to your forces, especially with the Space Marines. Um, you can take advantage of one legion's rules to apply to another legion. So you sort of like they add together, as far as I was aware. Um, Still resin, right. I'm definitely getting the Krieg. Yeah, the Krieg have always been, you know, really cool looking. It made absolute sense to bring them over into plastic as an alternate to Cadians. I beg your pardon. Cheapest resin ones I could find were 200 each. Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be bringing them out into plastic anyway. So I might just pay just to hold fire and see when they turn up. I was hoping for plastic dometers soon. Well, I'm sure they'll turn up at some point. Well, absolutely. It's face. It just makes you wonder. It's like sometimes, like just dragging things out. Just release them in plastic. Get them out there. You mass market. Feed our greed. Where's that? Do. Put some pics in the completed gallery of one I was wanting to finish last night. I'll check them out in a bit. There's, so just putting Nuln oil onto these Castellax belt feeds. Just to, I don't want them being black like the bolters themselves, but I want them to tone down the silver so it stands out as different, if you know what I mean. I'll do the same there. Hey there, Arnold. How are you, buddy? Been down the rabbit hole looking at Legio Prasagius. I'm surprised I wasn't more aware of them since they are on the moon of Gantz in the Connor system. There you go. These Titan Legios keep popping up left, right and centre. And you're kind of stuck, Arnold. How are you kind of stuck? How can we assist you get unstuck? poor dainty knee. Right. Two, what me? Let's Till now, I've painted the dudes on a stick, but needed to use super glue to fix them to the bases. Plastic glue is no good when there is paint, I feel. Is it really that hard to paint them whilst fixed on a base? Just wondering. All these were built and painted on the base. You just got to take your time and be careful. Use the appropriate brush, and you'll be fine. So it is doable, for sure. So it's just, again, just arranging these. One more question. I have seen several posts where they used more than one box for the Mechanicum, even more than two. Is that really the way to go? I've only got the one battle group box, so you get a lot in there for sure, but Also, when you're going to supplement it with like Knights and Titans to keep it, you know, yeah, I think that'd be enough. So that said, things like the Domitars and the Artalax, you've only got 2 in the battle group box set. So, a little flyby. Here you go. So having a lot of Thanators definitely helps out. And as I said, I've still got another lot of Thanators to build, and then another sprue's worth of infantry. And if you're going to be supplementing them with knights as well, or titans, you've got lots of options there, buddy. Wow. Unfortunately, I don't have any loyalist titans there. I hope you feel well real soon. So do I. I'm going away, like next weekend. I'm away for the weekend because it's my daughter's 18th birthday, and we're going to Paris for some unknown reason. Why she chose Paris? I even asked her, "Why Paris?" And I don't know. So you and Mum wanted to know what we're going to do. It's Paris, and it's what everyone went with. So yeah, so I'll be away. Should be back. Well, should be here for the Wednesday night at least. But Saturday I will be away. So apologies in advance. But yeah, I think I'd say because my head's feeling very heavy at the moment, so I'm going to call it there. But that's a nice little collection, and we've still got that rest of the infantry to do. So, and I'm just going to double check. No jet bikes. Yeah, so we've got 1 sprue for 4 Thanators and sprue for the infantry. The missing bits there is the Archmagos Abeyant, which I've already built. So, so yes, there we have it. Thank you very much again for coming to spend some time with me. Made some good progress. Thanks for the stream and get well. Thank you, Marius. It's much appreciated. How did I get up there? Triorus riding on the back of an Artalax. So yeah, I should see you on Wednesday from 8 PM onwards. As I said, I do apologise for the voice and the nasalness and the general lack of well presenter. But thanks for coming to hang out on a windy Saturday evening here in the UK. And I hope to see you all again soon. Have a great rest of the weekends, whatever you do. And I hope your hobby is amazing and fruitful. And until next Wednesday, let's be good. Let's have fun. Let's not try to get arrested, okay? See you later. Bye.